Hello everyone, this is Marcel. Welcome to my channel. For those of you patiently waiting for my YouTube update video in regards to some of the drama that's been going on and sneaky crap they've been doing behind the scenes, I'm waiting for a bit of new evidence to come in. I appreciate your patience. In the meantime, I'd like to discuss a topic that is somewhat important to me, which is whether or not MGTOW should date. Now, I know the automatic response that probably a good 90% of you are thinking is, well, of course not. Hell no. Why would they? Some of you may feel that to go MGTOW is to take self-agency and to essentially decide whatever you want to do, to take your own path regardless of whether or not it leads you directly into the arms of a woman. I'd imagine there are even those that take almost a PUA spiel on it, that our philosophy could be adapted into almost a set of tools to understand women and human nature in general, as to just allow for better decisions, and that in of itself is more important than whether a guy dates women or otherwise. Sort of the whole you don't have to go full monk or true force lonely or something just because you want to follow a MGTOW philosophy. And none of those viewpoints are inherently wrong. All of them can be correct based on the context and the perspective of the person that's making those judgment calls, let's say. I have my own opinions on what the best choice of action will be, and I'll get to that here in a moment. The reason why I wanted to make this video is I've heard an alarming number of suggestions being put out, advice, if you will, amongst some of the various MGTOW creators out there, where all of a sudden there's this suggestion of dating more women popping up. Now, I'm not going to dime anybody out because I really lack context. I don't know where the advice is coming from. I don't know the backstory behind it. So maybe there's a part of the whole big picture that I'm missing. But I'm starting to hear that a lot. The advice to date women, coming from other MGTOW, like big MGTOW creators. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? So picture for a moment that you have a friend, and this friend comes up to you because he's devastated from a terrible relationship experience. He's heartbroken, he's been shattered by this woman, he's just distraught with himself. Heartache, he's having a hard time. And the first advice that we often hear from blue pill to blue pill guys, it's like, oh, go out there and get yourself another girlfriend. You'll be fine, man. Get back up on the horse. And you hear it every day. But then, let's say, do some analogies here for a moment. Like, dating a woman and having a breakup is, let's say for a moment that it's similar to having a hangover. He first gets with a woman, and the guy is all excited and has this rush and the euphoria and the experience, and he's on cloud nine for the whole course of the relationship, and then it ends, and it's devastating, and he drops back down to ground zero, and it sucks ass. And he's miserable until he finds a way to pull through and heal. Telling that guy that he can jump onto another woman is like saying, hey buddy, you got a hangover? Here, have a shot of whiskey. It'll bring you right back up out of it. Now, truth be told, a couple shots of whiskey will cure a hangover. It's a painkiller, or at the very least a pain dampener to where the guy doesn't feel it. So sure, yeah, going out and hooking up with another woman will definitely cure the pain of the previous breakup. Of course, that's completely skipping the step where he actually heals, or learns what went wrong, or learns what he was looking for in the woman that might have been wrong, why they were a bad match, or better yet, even finds a way to cope with the problem without having to turn to a woman to do it. And I really don't buy the whole trial and error experience makes perfect kind of crap, because that's still going in the direction of finding more women, more relationships, which is inherently the problem. Relationships have gone toxic. How could being better at managing a toxic thing still be good advice? Another example, let's say for a moment that a guy made a horrible investment decision, in the stock market, brokerage account, whatever it is, and he lost everything in it, or half of what he invested. Now, can we all agree that women are an investment? At least stable or serious relationships are a form of investment The guy puts his time, his energy, his effort into them. He dedicates a big part of his life to them. And then if they fail, if they break down, there's a considerable loss. So if a guy were to have that, financial loss, should the first advice he gets be to immediately go out and reinvest? To go put more money in more stocks? Just throw the money out there, take whatever he has left and put it into a new business decision like that? No, of course not. I mean, any logical mind would say, hey, step back, see what he did wrong, learn from the experience, dissect the different funds that it went into, see where the money went, maybe even reevaluate whether or not he should be investing in that form at all. See, you put that kind of concept of that advice in any other scenario in life, and it makes perfect sense to not suggest that they jump right from the pot into the fire. And yet, all of a sudden, I'm hearing what I would call bad blue pill advice popping up as supposed to be good red pill advice, and I'm completely perplexed. Now, granted, like I said, I don't know the context behind it. First time I heard it even said, I was kind of taken back, like, oh, there must be something I had missed. Did they just say they should start dating? See, the way that I see it, any good, solid, red-pilled MGTOW advice should be somewhere between don't waste time on women at all and possibly passive caution, like if they do, it should be very careful and controlled. By that, where I mean the guy doesn't lose control of his own emotions, lose himself. At no point should there ever be an advice to the degree of go out and seek women and without even any backing of what direction to go with it. Just basically hop on the blue pill bandwagon. I have a couple of ideas why this might be happening. Either the people that are saying this are starting to get a little influenced by a woman that's nearby, poked at a little bit that maybe they should be more pro blue pill. I could see that happening. Or perhaps they're even trying to tailor the narrative a little bit to where they can still have their channel the way they want it and yet be able to have a little dating experience and not get judged so harshly. They're testing the waters, as it were. So what is it that I think of all of this? What do I feel about dating and the concept of it? How it pertains to MGTOW, our philosophy? Well, honestly, dating is the residual remains of courting. It's essentially structured pair bonding between two people, man and woman typically, right? And generally, it's to establish a steady relationship. Well, of course, granted, unless they're just going out for the fun of it, but then if they're just purely doing it for the fun of it, then why call it going out at all? Why not just be out with friends? Now, the concept of dating, doing little quotation marks here, is to establish relationships. At least that's what it used to be about. Nowadays, it's pretty much women milking men for their money. You're getting free drinks and free meals and shit. In the very best scenario, it's a guy paying for a woman's time, for her graces, as it were. And none of that sounds really appealing to me. Frankly, if I'm hanging out with any woman and the end goal is not hooking up with her in a romantic sense, then why even call it dating in the first place? There's no point. So do I believe that MGTOW should date? To be perfectly honest, I don't even think that MGTOW is a class of person or a type of person. I believe that it's a set of ideas, a set of concepts, and advice in of itself that's passed down from man to man. It's a way to see the world around us more clearly, to evolve and learn from our mistakes. There's nothing said in it that says a guy can't date. It's not a rule book or set of guidelines. It's definitely not a symptom of a toxic society. No, it is the advice my father wanted to tell me while I was growing up, but never had the courage or ability, the opportunity to. That is what MGTOW is. It's the realization that we can recognize when we're getting handed a shit deal by someone we're supposed to trust. Knowing when the house is cheating you and it's time to set down the cards and walk away. Find a better table to sit at. It's being able to look in the mirror in the morning and have a little bit of self-respect. A calm set-in confidence that whatever I accomplish over the course of that day is really mine, and that I did it for myself, recognizing that that's not selfish. Now, if a man can go out, date a woman, sit there and tolerate while she's texting on her cell phone during dinner, try and act like it doesn't bother him where he has to pay for the drinks and the food and the popcorn, pretend to be interested when she talks about her exes and her friends, knowing in the back of his mind that all he either wants is A, to get laid and none of it really matters, so he's being disingenuous, or B, he's actually interested in this woman who's not respecting him at all. And even if he does everything right, everything perfect for the rest of the course of their relationship, she could still walk out for no reason whatsoever. If he can do all of that and still look in the mirror with pride, more power to him. But you tell me, is any of that MGTOW? I don't think I really have anything else I need to say. Until next time, this has been Marcel.